Cisco can be $1 trillion company before MRVL goes to $1 trillion, in my opinion.
His tweets might need more than Trump's now at this point. Like it's pretty wild that he can swing these companies so quickly.
261 to 275 is something that is very realistic target in the short term. I think this stock can go back over 300 very, very soon. The stock can rip higher given this nice peekaboo kind of setup with it moving towards that all-time highs again. Technicals, fundamentals all aside, everybody just psychologically wants to capture the next big move in the market. There's so much FOMO in the market right now. Like I was just talking about it like the other day. Like I was telling one of my friends, you're making $1,000 a week, you're making $1,500. Like he makes $1,000 a week, and then last week he made like 3,500. This week he made $2,000. And I was like, see, you are looking at consistently looking at making $1,000 a week, and you have a full-time job, you're making good money trading, you're doing whatever you have to do. But then he's like, man, I go on X and I see these screenshots talking about like $1,500 going to like $1 million. Microsoft is something that I wouldn't touch.
Cause we pop them like overred and vodka. C3, okay, a millionaire. I'm a young money millionaire.
How you doing, man?
Good, dude. Good. Market's been great, so why not? It's good to live.
Yeah. No, I got to pull up the stocks we wanted to touch on today. This is my first actually red day, at least in my brokerage. My first red day. I picked a few. I needed you back, right, KT? I needed you back. Not, I haven't been trading yours, which is I need to get back in the mix. We're going to talk about Cisco, Bloom Energy, Oracle, and Microsoft. So Microsoft, I'm in. Oracle, I sold early on. But I had a 400% gain. Thought that was good. And then as soon as I sell, it just rips like what's going on there? Yeah, pull up the maybe we start with that, even the S&P, just because that's where I kind of always start.
Yeah, we'll start with S&P and then we'll figure it out.
Let me change your name here as well. Ready. Update title. Should change here in a second. Cool. And Jody is in Prague right now. So he was on a train, and I said, you know what, you can skip today. So
okay. That's okay. I mean, he's having fun. Is he on a vacation?
Come on.
Is he on a vacation or is he like?
No, he's doing some work for us. He's at the Prague Bitcoin. Which is probably not the happiest of places right now, just seeing where Bitcoin's at. So we'll save Bitcoin here at the end too to see what's going to happen there, because it feels like it could drop a little bit more. But let's focus on S&P.
I mean, given the bull run, I just can't see how Bitcoin is not participating. But yeah,
it's crazy. So what are we looking at here? This is the S&P 500.
Yeah. This is SPY. So SPY definitely looking a lot. This has been a crazy run. But before that, I'll just share some metrics of around June seasonality, where we have a -2% average return in June, which also nets to be the worst performing month. Top of the chart, worst performing month of S&P 500 during the midterm election years. So I'm very skeptical about that seasonality, given what we are seeing. But right now it's just blue skies above. Like 770 is the upper end of the price targets that SPY can go up to before the SpaceX IPO that comes in. Right now, any kind of pullback towards the 9 EMA, which is around 752, which is a great pullback. I think it's a buy opportunity. Right under these under 752, we have about 750 to 747. That's where we have quite a bit of support that the bulls have built themselves as well. So I'm not expecting a very big pullback, even though we have a huge, bigger pullback like what we saw during the Iran war or whatever. I think 725 is the least that I can see, and I don't see anything under 700 coming up this year. But S&P looks very, very strong. Something that kind of is a little bit more, most people talk about the RSI, and I don't believe in the whole RSI overbought, oversold concepts at all, but I do keep an eye out for these divergences that keep playing out. So there is definitely a small divergence that I'm seeing even in the S&P being built up right now with what I'm seeing here, right? Like the RSI high is not as high as the RSI as the price here is. So we have a higher high on the price, but a lower high on the RSI. So again, I'm not a huge fan of calling the tops, not calling the bottoms. It's just something to keep an eye out for, because one sector which has been driving this run, which is SMH, has been doing the exact same thing too, with making new highs. Obviously, like I did talk about some 250 puts being bought for last week on SMH. These people actually bought 300 puts for $15.5 million. 620 puts and then 520 puts and then 600 puts on SMH as well, for about $15 million, and then now they're down to about $4.5 million. I think there's a lot of revenge trading that's going on playing those SMH puts, expecting a move down on a short term kind of basis. But I definitely am like a little bit more cautious around playing these major chip names that have already run quite a bit. So MU, SNDK, all these premiums are like super jacked up. I definitely don't want to talk into about any of that. Intel, AMD, all these like ARM. I'm just not touching them. I'm like, I'm fine. You can run, you can do whatever you want. I'm willing to wait for the pullback, at least have that 9 EMA retest on the daily on these charts, and then we'll figure things out.
Yeah, I think. What are your thoughts on? I said this to Joey today. I was talking with him, and I was like, I don't love the fact that now I'm blanking on the stock. Jensen said, Marvel. So MRVL is a $1 trillion company. Pops 20% off of that. Just Jensen's. Yeah, look at that. Like that to me, and maybe I'm just ignorant, but that scared me. I was like, why? 20%. It's not like a tiny company, right? So I was like so surprised that it jumped that much. Now, I mean, his tweets might mean more than Trump's now at this point. Like it's pretty wild that he can swing at these companies so quickly. So I don't know if there's like game theory going on with partnerships and they want to like help each other out or whatnot. But what are your thoughts on this? Because when you see a chart jump like that high off of not necessarily fundamentals, but forward-looking comments.
So according to me, Avi, like the way people are thinking right now with respect to the retail traders, specifically who are the ones who are jumping in with their money, is they want to catch the next move like SNDK or MU, and they know that there will be more bottlenecks coming in. There will be more demand for certain stocks with respect to AI, and they want to catch the next big thing, right? That's essentially what's happening with MU. It's more psychological than fundamental or technical, in my opinion. Yeah. So if you talk about it, right, like it's not just MRVL he moved AAOI, he moved Light, Lithium, he moved Glow, GLW, he moved Cisco. These are not small companies at all by any means, but the other three that I mentioned just now, they don't even make money, but people are just buying into these hype, right? So everybody wants to catch the next MU, the next SNDK, and they don't want to be left behind. That is essentially what is triggering the runs like what we are seeing with MRVL. MRVL was $200 billion last night, and today it's like around 300. So there is a 3x growth that he's predicting on MRVL to happen. So
now, jeez. I'm just looking at your screen
and now we talk about like the squeeze patterns or the gamma squeezes and every aspect of that. If you see the max strike for MRVL going into the OPEX for June is 320. Even for today, it's 320. 320 is the max strike.
That's wild. I was looking at Microsoft. I was trying to grab 500s. I couldn't. For some reason I couldn't find them, even though people were saying to grab those.
500s are available in Microsoft, but MRVL 320 is the top. So tomorrow, these market manipulators, I think they will open up new strikes And guess who's going to buy all those strikes again?
Yeah.
Retail, right? So that's going to cause another level of squeeze, like, 30% today, 15% tomorrow. I'm pretty sure MRVL is going past 300, 320 very soon, right? So again, technicals, fundamentals all aside, everybody just psychologically want to capture the next big move in the market, and there's so much FOMO in the market right now. Like I was just talking about it like the other day. Like I was telling one of my friend, you're you're making $1,000 a week, you're making 1,500. Like he makes $1,000 a week, and then last week he made like 3,500. This week he made two grand. And I was like, see, you are looking at consistently looking at making $1,000 a week, and you have a full-time job, you're making good money trading, you're doing whatever you have to do. But then he's like, man, I go on X and I see these screenshots, people talking about like, $1,500 going to like $1,500 going to like $1 million, $500 going to 1.52 million. What the hell is that? I'm like, why do you even care, right? Like, yeah, they got lucky. Like, think about it, right? Like, yeah, you are putting in your money in these high risk assets. What happens when there's a drop? You are still in these high risk assets, and nobody's going to talk about that. Like, nobody's going to talk about.
Well, I trimmed dibs. I said NBIS. I finally trimmed. I mean, I was just so outweighted, and like I bought early, and I had a pretty good size on it, so. That's been taking my entire account, but I trimmed it, and actually I just noticed it was up today, and of course I text my friend, I go, it's amazing, this thing just never goes down. But now I'm looking at it, it's a little red here, pretty flat.
Yeah, I mean it happened to Google also, Avi. Like for example, I had someone ask me, hey, I had 390 calls on Google sold, and it's at 405. What do I do with my shares right now? I was like, give it up, man. Like, it's okay. 390 to 405, you already have collected the premiums. You probably are selling at around 396 or so. Give it up. From $100 to $400, that's a great run from 2022. Just give them up. And today the stock is at 360. So, you get your opportunities back again in the market. Like, it's not like you might probably miss out on a 15% run, but then the market always corrects itself, and that's the correction that you can get.
How about 2020? We were all saying we're never going to see a market like this again.
Yeah,
and now this one's maybe even crazier. I don't know.
I think 2020 was a little comes beneath.
That was like money being pumped in. Like from my understanding, the money still hasn't been pumped in yet.
Nothing. Exactly.
So that's what's great. I mean, we've been fortunate, and we've been talking about all the stocks that have been running, but. There's a lot of stock, if they go ahead and pump money into the system here, it's going to be a fun year.
Yeah, I mean, I think the economy is also going into a mode where people are realizing they need a third stream of income, and that the only way you can do that is put your money to work, which is the stock market. So, I think that's where. I think that's where retail is jumping in a lot too.
Yeah. Let's get into the stocks that you wanted to touch on. Let me pull them back up here. Cisco, I think, was first.
Cisco. Want to talk about this because this was a trade idea for the week.
I had no idea I was ripping with that.
Yeah. So this one, I really love a box strategy like this. This is something that many people can learn from also. Like when you see a power earnings gap up, this was the gap up, which is called a peg gap up, right? Like I've learned this from Traders 2E, who's one of the very good traders on FinTwit. He talks about pegs, right? Like you have a huge peg, and then what I've observed from his his knowledge of the market is when you have a peg and then you have a bull flag like this. When you have a range bound, which is about 121 to 114, which is about 7 points, when this kind of breaks, when this range kind of breaks, you see a very quick ramp up to 2 times the range. So 7 points, so this thing goes to 14 points. So 121 plus 14 goes up to 135. That's one aspect to where Cisco is going, 135 as the price target. Obviously, you also see like two range bounds, right? So this one is only about 5 points. So 121 plus 5 plus 10 goes up to 131 this week. That's the extended target for this week. So Cisco, if you believe MRVL is going to be a $1 trillion company, think about a dinosaur like Cisco, which has so many partners and has been making good amount of money all these years, dealing with networking and security in its stack for AI. Right.
Yeah.
So I think Cisco can be a $1 trillion company before MRVL goes to $1 trillion, in my opinion.
That's a clip right there. That's our clip, Jody. Mark it down. What's it at right now? So it's let's see. Let's go.
I think it's at about 420 to 450, I think, billion. 500
billion, it looks like today.
Yeah.
That's from Google. That's not the best to look at, but wow. So you think it could double from here?
I think so. I mean, if people believe MRVL is a $1 billion company, Cisco is $1 trillion company, Cisco will definitely be a $1 trillion company.
Yeah, we're living in new times where $1 billion used to be like $1 million. Even when I was growing up, was like I want to be a millionaire, you know. And that was like the beautiful mansion. Now you go look for houses that are $1 million. It's like a shack. And
exactly.
So we got to retrain our brains around that thinking that there can be multiple $1 trillion companies. Tony used to say this all the time. He's like, you don't understand. There's more money being printed. It's just going to continue to go up, and these companies are going to be worth more and more.
Yep. And on top of that, like think about the age of abundance that Elon Musk talks about, where money becomes irrelevant.
Yeah.
So the infinite money glitch that he talks about with respect to Optimus and all that, I think that's going to be true in very, very short term.
I know. Me and my friend Drew always talk about this. We got to get out of the permanent underclass as fast as possible.
Yeah, exactly. So socialism is going to be something that everybody's going to look up to. But anyway, I'm not predicting all that. I don't want it.
All right, I think we're back. Can you hear me? You back? I think that was me. I apologize. I don't know what that's happening. Glad you stayed on there. All right, so Cisco double from here. You're thinking, and what? How do you gauge this time frame? Is that over the next year? Is that over the next 2 years, 3 years?
Maybe a year, given all the hype that's going on right now.
I'm going to start looking at some leaps here then. Awesome. All right. So Cisco, we like. Then the other ones were Bloom Energy, I think.
Yep. This one is a beautiful
our boy. What's his name? Leopold. That's his. He's the one that made the name for Bloom Energy, I feel like.
Yeah. So Bloom Energy, nice little breakout setup here. Very strong chart, right? Like it's been ripping higher, bases rips higher. It's a very strong looking chart, finally breaking out about that 300 barrier again, going back to the all-time highs. It can go all the way up to 344 to 350. That's how I see Bloom Energy right now. The biggest news on Bloom Energy that I've seen today was the CEO saying they don't have to dilute stock, or they don't have to issue more stock to
raise cash.
Yeah, to raise cash to for the AI supply for AI and all that. Given all the hype that's going on, they don't really have to raise any cash for the demand that they have to deliver towards. So
nice to hear, because as an owner of strategy stock, it's every day they just issue ATM every day. It feels like.
Yeah, right. Like, exactly like that. I think that's a very that has been one of the biggest bear indicators for this stock for some time. But I don't. I mean, if he's clarifying that, I mean, I would believe him, and I think the stock can rip higher given this nice peekaboo kind of setup with it moving towards that all-time highs again.
You say so. It's right now. It's sitting at like 303. It looks like, and you think it's going to go
Yeah,
to three?
322 to 350. That's my two targets to the upside.
Love it. All right, and then we got Oracle and Microsoft. So I'm holding Microsoft's right now, so I'm excited about that. But let's hit Oracle first. Yeah, look at that.
Oracle,
I think I hit that first candle, sold, and then it went up 2 more legs. It was pretty crazy.
I mean, like, this is a great looking chart.
You called this. I got to give you credit. This was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. You did, Oracle was one that you said to watch.
Yeah. And today is an inside day. I think Oracle, it's just resting for some time before it kind of wants to break above that 249, 250 barrier. I think 261 to 275 is something that is very like a very realistic target in the short term. I think this stock can go back over 300 very, very soon. One of the biggest problems that Oracle has is the skepticism around OpenAI being able to pay for their contracts and stuff. But once OpenAI files for IPO and becomes a public company and raises some cash, I think all that skepticism kind of vanishes away, and Oracle can start getting that traction towards that upside and go back to this all-time highs. One of the biggest indicators that I really look for is the confidence from the CEOs when they talk on their earnings call. And Oracle CEO in their previous earnings call as well, he said, we are going to stick with the forecast that we have given until 2030. This is the first company, I think, which gave that metrics for all the way up till 2030. You remember this run that Oracle had towards that 345. This huge gap up and run was one of the biggest reasons of that news, and he's very confident in that. So I do believe Oracle can go back over 300 very, very soon, but 275 remains a short-term target here on Oracle.
Love it. Before we get to Microsoft, I just bought Reddit, and part of my thesis for Reddit was that the IPO of Anthropic is coming, and anytime I've seen an IPO, they don't want to have these lagging. They have a legal battle right now, back and forth. And my thinking is that they're going to resolve that and pay it out, so they don't have that lingering over their head before the IPO. So that was like my main thesis. Plus, it's been, it's far from its all-time high. They're also going to be redoing the contracts with all of those AI companies. That's my pigeon brain thinking.
No, I think you're right. I mean, once that I'm looking at that 180 level on Reddit, I think it can go all the way back to 215ish. I did see some 300 calls bought in for the IPO launch, specifically like what you have just said. These traders have been in for August, I believe, July or August, I believe. So they won't be holding it all the way till the price target, but then like the premiums, if they jump over 180, if there's a quick move towards that 215, those contracts really expand very, very fast. So I think you are thinking right in that aspect. And also something that I really love about Reddit is they are in the AI business, but then their the CapEx spending is so small for some goddamn reason. Are they so efficient, or are they not spending for innovation? I just don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And Joey Salitro was telling me they have like a 90. They're going to get up to like 99% margins or something crazy on the AI soon.
Yeah.
Before I say that out loud, which I just did, I need to see exactly what he said. But that seemed pretty crazy if that's the reality. I mean, it seems like a good stock that had, it's got a long way to go before it hits the all-time high again.
Yep.
And then Rivian's up. There's the Rivian one.
Yeah, Rivian needs about 1850. I think Rivian. I'm a very strong believer in this stock. I was the first person who said don't buy the IPO on Rivian. This was trading at around 183 or so. If I'm not wrong, let me go to the weekly chart.
I remember.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there. this was where I was telling everybody, don't buy Rivian. It's a stock that
Yeah.
you want to short, because I've gone through a cycle with Tesla. So I kind of knew Rivian was going to do this. But now I think Rivian is getting ready for that move with their whole, the innovation
Second
around
call.
self-driving and all that. So an R2 launch and their platform. The only concern that I have with Rivian right now, in my opinion, is how are they going to build to scale? That's one of my biggest
I
concerns.
remember reading up on that if they can get there. Since you brought them up, and I know we will get to Microsoft. Let's do Tesla real quick, just because I it's a decent sized account for me. And it's been the downswings have been bad, but it's trying to figure out what's going here.
I think Tesla at this point is waiting for the Optimus launch. That is what I see where Tesla is can stay in this range for the next 1 year.
Do you think people are selling their Tesla for SpaceX though?
I don't think so. I mean, I would feel so stupid to sell Tesla for SpaceX, right? Like, because Tesla owns SpaceX in a way. So if you're selling Tesla to buy SpaceX, you're definitely you have exposure to both. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I would never do that. Like, I would never buy SpaceX on IPO. I mean, I don't even buy IPO, so it doesn't matter. But at the same time, if SpaceX is going up, Tesla is going to go up also with the FOMO and the exposure they have towards owning SpaceX stock, since it's since it's Series A, I believe, or pre-funding itself. I think Elon invested with Tesla.
I gotta dig in there.
Tesla definitely owns a lot of SpaceX stock.
All right, let's wrap it up with Microsoft. I need a coffee or something. I'm getting you're not boring me. I'm just getting tired over here. I don't know what's going on today.
I'm pretty sure you've been in the calls all day.
Well, I was at a bachelor party, then I was solo dadding it for a bit and didn't get much sleep, and so hopefully this end of the week I can get some.
Honestly speaking, Avi, right now, Microsoft is something that I wouldn't touch. Okay. One of the main reason is there's an abandoned baby. This is called an island top also. You have a gap up and then you have a gap down, and you have like a gap up and a gap down, and there's strong sellers sitting right up here in this zone that I'm pointing out. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't touch Microsoft per se. Probably pull back towards 434, 435 is something that I would be interested in towards the 9 EMA. Mm-hmm. Right now, if it rips and fills that gap, I'm happy about that. But then, especially with respect to options trades, I wouldn't be in them.
Yeah.
All
right, let me look to trim out of those then. Anything else that you're looking at? I'm not going to give your trade of the week away, but like what? Anything that you're watching, I guess.
Well, Cisco definitely. That's still in the radar with 131 as the target. So that's something that I'll be looking out for. MRVL, that's another one that I'm really, really interested in. I think this one can gap up again tomorrow, move towards that 300 zone. Again, like I said, this can be a very technical trade too, with respect to the new strikes opening up tomorrow and people buying in and creating that upward push on the stock. Mm-hmm. Right now, 320 is the max. I think contract that's available until 618. I didn't see anything after because 618 itself is like $14. So there's no point in checking anything else after.
Yeah.
But I think that opening up new strikes will create that squeeze towards that 300. Is something that I'm looking out for. Premiums are definitely jacked up on this one, so trade it with a little bit of a caution. These two are my main two that I'm looking at. Other than that, obviously BE, which is doing that peekaboo setup. That's something that I'm looking at as well. The last but not the least, CAT is something that I'm looking at as well with respect to the news that came out with Trump cutting tariffs on the farm equipment. And this one can absolutely rip back to like 930 this week. So keep an eye out for this one. Obviously, if you're looking at CAT, also look at DE, which is again a beautiful chart as well, trying to break out. So I think there's 580 to 595 that can be possible here on DE as well. So these are my 5 stocks that I'm like looking at, not looking at anything else right now.
That's all you need sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So awesome. Problem Sniper, always a pleasure, my friend. I'm gonna try to take a nap before I gotta go grab my kid, and we'll see you next week, my friend.
Thanks a lot. See ya. Peace.
Cause we pop 'em like over red and vodka. C3, okay, a millionaire.